So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a very short span of time within 30 minutes so that you get to cover your current affairs quickly and you're left with the rest of your day to cover other parts of your UPSC syllabus. Now, just watching this lecture, just spending 30 minutes on it would be job half done because you need to spend another 15 minutes revising this lecture as well. Why, you ask? Well, revision helps in consolidating these current affairs in your memory. Otherwise, you'll quickly forget them. Now, you can revise these current affairs from the notes provided by us, and these notes shall be shared on our Telegram channel. The link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comments section just below this video. Alright then, let's begin today's session. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we shall cover today. Okay? So as far as 1st May, Thursday 2025 is concerned, the newspaper was not that heavy as far as civil services aspirants are concerned. Only 3 news items were of significance, so therefore we will confine our current affairs preparation to these 3 topics only. Okay, so what are these 3 topics? Number 1, a very big news, Caste Census. Government has announced that it will conduct Caste Census along with the normal census that has to be conducted. Okay. Then, government also announced increase in fair and remunerative prices for sugarcane. So this is a significant news. And in the end, government has announced that it will expand. Basically, it has expanded National Security Advisory Board. So what is this National Security Advisory Board? We'll talk about this. So these are the 3 news items that we will zero in our attention on because these are the only 3 items that are of significance. Okay, we have to be selective in our preparation. We can't study everything. Okay. Now, let's start today's discussion with topic number 1, which is the caste census. Okay. Now, the thing is that every 10 years we conduct a census. Okay. Now, census is basically counting of our population. Now, census has been conducted on the first year of a decade. So, for example, let's suppose it was 1931, then 1951, then 1961, then 2000, and so on and so forth. The last one was in 2011. Now, census was to be conducted in 2021, but COVID-19 pandemic hit. The entire country was in lockdown mode. So, census could not have been conducted during that time. So, census for 2021 is delayed, but government has announced that it will conduct this census anytime soon. And now government has announced that along with counting numbers, okay, along with counting people, how many people are there in which state and all that, we will also ask questions pertaining to their caste. So along with 2021 census, which was delayed basically, we will conduct a caste census as well. That has been announced by government. Now remember, caste census was conducted during British times. Okay, so until 1941 in India, along with normal census, caste census was also conducted. Caste based data was available. Okay, but after India got independence, India discontinued this practice of conducting caste census. But now, because of political pressure, well, this time around, government has announced that it is going to conduct caste census as well. Okay, now this announcement was made by Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, which is headed by Prime Minister. Okay, the data collected in censuses since 1951 include the number of individuals belonging to SC/ST community. Okay, so like I said before independence, we used to conduct caste census. After independence, 1951 onwards, we don't collect data on caste. Okay, except the SC/ST community. So we count the number of people, we also count the number of SCs, we also count the number of STs, we also count the number of different religious denominations. And then we put a full stop over there. We do not count the number of other castes, okay, especially the OBC caste. Okay, that practice was discontinued. Okay, so members of other caste groups have not been counted. Clear? And that is why the last data on caste is, well, the last data that is available to us is 1931 census, because in 1941 also Britishers did a census of India, but the caste based data could not be released because, well, the Britishers were involved in, including India was involved in World War II. So 1941 caste census data is not available. The last data as far as caste is concerned, excluding SCs and STs, well, that was 1931, and now It will be conducted in this census. Okay. Now, there was an attempt made to conduct a caste census. The thing is that last time around in 2011, when census was being done, well, various political parties pressurized the then Congress government to conduct caste census. A lot of back and forth went. They were trying to put pressure. The central government was not ready to budge. Okay. Then eventually, Congress government said that, okay, we will conduct not an exact caste census, but we will conduct a process similar to that. So central government in 2011 announced that we will conduct a census, and then just after that we will conduct a socio-economic caste census, which will count the number of people in different castes. Okay. The problem is that the data generated from socio-economic caste census was given to Social Justice Ministry, and the Social Justice Ministry has not released that data. Okay, it forwarded that data to Niti Aayog Vice Chairperson Arvind Pangaria for classification or categorization of different caste groups. Okay, because within caste there are subcastes also, right? So for that analysis, the data was handed over to this expert group under the chairmanship of Niti Aayog Vice Chairperson Arvind Pangaria, but their findings have also not been released. Clear? So the closest attempt to a caste census was this SECC, but its data has not been released. Okay. And now this data is old because it was conducted in 2011. So there is no clamor about releasing this data. People are saying that conduct a fresh caste census, and government has announced that it will do so. Now, what will be the impact of this move? First of all, within the OBC category, as you all know, that OBCs get reservation, but many people are saying that the top castes, okay, the upper castes within the OBC category, not upper castes, I should say, but the top castes, the well off castes within the OBC category, are taking all the reservation benefits. Therefore, we need to have, well, within this reservation, within this quota, sub quotas also for different subcastes within OBC. So this subcategorization could take place if data is available through census. Okay. The data collected by census will impact government policies, boundaries. Now, government can take informed policy decision also now, because the government would have socio-economic status of different caste groups. Plus, it would reignite the debate on reservation as well. Okay, that would be there. Clear? Okay then. That is all you need to know. When the census process will start, then more information would come out. Then we'll discuss this issue again. But as of now, just understand these points as far as caste census is concerned. Okay. Now let's move on to topic number 2. Fair and remunerative prices. Now look, you must have heard about MSP, right? MSP is released for 22 crops. Of these 22 crops, 14 are Kharif crops, 6 are Rabi crops, and there are 2 commercial crops, right? Now, the purpose of MSP is to give a guarantee price to farmers, right? So that before sowing their crop, farmers have a guaranteed price in mind, and this guaranteed price is pretty high, so that farmers are given an assurance of guaranteed income also. Now, there are sugarcane farmers as well, and government provides a similar guarantee to sugarcane farmers. But in case of sugarcane, we do not use the term MSP. We use the term FRP, fair and remunerative prices. Okay? And another difference between MSP and FRP is that, first of all, FRP is only for sugarcane, MSP is for all these 22 crops. The other difference is that government gives you a guarantee to procure your crops at MSP. Okay? So government tells the farmers that we will buy these crops at MSP. But in case of sugarcane, government declares FRP, but government doesn't directly buy sugarcane from farmers. Okay? The thing is that there are sugarcane mills. Okay? And then there are sugarcane farmers. The farmers sell these sugarcane to mills who process these sugarcane and produce sugar. Now, when government declares FRP, it is mandatory for these mills to procure sugarcane from these farmers at this price minimum. Okay, so government is not buying sugarcane, these mills are. Clear? Now, recently, government realized that sugar production in India has fallen. And that is because not many farmers are growing sugarcane anymore. So, to encourage farmers to grow more sugarcane, well, government announced an increase in FRP. Now, farmers would be incentivized to grow more sugarcane because now they'll get better returns. That was the thing. Okay. So, government announced an increase in FRP. This new FRP will come into effect from October 1st, 2025. Now, about FRP, you should know certain things. Okay. So, FRP. All right. So, what is FRP? It is a price declared by CCEA. CCEA stands for Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. Like we just talked about, Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, which announced Caste Census. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs declares MSP. It declares FRP. Okay. It is a price declared by CCA which sugarcane mills are legally bound to pay to farmers for cane procured from them. Now, this FRP is based on the recommendations of Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. So, Commission CACP recommends the price. It is up to CCEA to accept that price or to reject it. Okay, but CCEA declares the price. Okay. Now, procurement of sugarcane at FRP by mills is controlled by Sugarcane Control Order 1966. Under this order, sugarcane mills have to make the payment to farmers within 14 days, okay, of procuring. So they can't delay forever. They have to make the payment within 14 days. The Sugarcane Control Order also gives a provision for an agreement between farmers and mills. So in that agreement, the mills can agree to basically paying for this sugarcane in installments. Okay. So if they are unable to pay back in 14 days, well, they can choose to pay back in installments, but an agreement should be concluded beforehand. If sugarcane mills are not paying farmers on time, well, then there is a person called Sugarcane Commissioner. He can penalize these sugarcane mills. He can impose a fine or many other things. Okay, so they have to buy it at FRP. That's all you need to know as far as FRP is concerned. Okay, that's all. Now let's move on to third news item, which is again very small but very important. National Security Advisory Board. So the government has revamped National Security Advisory Board by appointing 6 new members. Plus, former RAW chief and NTRO chief Alok Joshi has been appointed as the chairman of this NSAB. Now the question is, what is this NSAB? Okay, so about NSAB. So it was established in 1998. It was established to advise National Security Council. Now National Security Council is chaired by PM. So basically, National Security Advisory Board is a kind of committee under National Security Council. And the main job of National Security Advisory Board is to basically provide independent long-term analysis. This word is important, long-term. How should be India's national security architecture? How should India's national security architecture be like in the next 10 years, 5 years? Okay. So for long-term planning, remember this part. For long-term planning, NSAB sits and gives recommendations. Okay. It is due to the recommendations of NSAB that India has a nuclear doctrine. Okay. In that nuclear doctrine, we gave no first use policy. You all are familiar with this, right? India also had a national security review that was also conducted by NSAB. So basically, remember, NSAB is not established for basically operations. Like many people were thinking that after this Pahalgam incident, India was going to attack Pakistan. So the operational details of that attack would be decided by NSAB. No, NSAB is only responsible for India's long-term security planning. Okay. Now it operates under National Security Council Secretariat. Within National Security Council, there are 2 other committees also which work with NSAB. Okay. Now NSAB has a chairman and other members. These other members can be from diverse range of fields, IB members, RAW members, okay, many other, Army, Air Force. There is no fixed limit on the number of members, by the way. Okay, but members' term is fixed at 2 years basically. So each member has a term of 2 years, but there is no upper limit on the number of members it will have. Plus, India has a 3-tier national security architecture. Okay, so at the top there is National Security Council headed by Prime Minister. Within that National Security Council, there is Strategic Policy Group, which is headed by National Security Advisor, currently Ajit Doval. Then there is National Security Advisory Board, which gives long-term inputs, long-term security inputs. Clear? That would be all. That's it. Okay, today's lecture was a short one. That would be all. But your job should be to conclude this lecture and then revise it. Like I say this every time, revision is very important. Otherwise, you'll forget these few current affairs also. Okay, so do not forget to revise them. You can find the notes on our Telegram channel. And on that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you again quickly, very soon. Next few news items from next day, 2nd May. Thank you, everyone.